George Harrison's I Want to Tell You is one of those Beatles tracks that kind of sneaks up on you. It's not as flashy as Taxman or Here Comes the Sun, but it's a great example of Harrison coming into his own as a songwriter. By 1966, when Revolver came out, George wasn't just the quiet Beatle anymore. He was starting to push his own ideas forward, and this song captures that moment when he's trying to communicate something bigger but can't quite find the words. The track was recorded in June of '66 at Abbey Road, and for a Beatles song, it was done pretty quickly. They knocked out 5 takes on the first day, with the third one being the keeper. George laid down the lead guitar and vocals, Paul jumped on the piano, and Ringo handled drums as usual. John wasn't doing much guitar here, which was becoming more common as George started to take the reins on his own songs. One cool thing about the recording is Paul's piano. It's got this weird dissonant chord at the end of each verse that gives the song this uneasy vibe, which totally fits the lyrics about struggling to get your thoughts across. It's almost like the music is mirroring the frustration in George's head. He's got all these ideas, but they're jumbled, hard to express. They added tambourine, maracas, and hand claps to fill things out, and Paul came back the next day to finish off the bass line. Now, as for the title, George was terrible at naming his songs. For a while, it was called Laxton's Superb, which is literally the name of an apple. Shout out to Jeff Emmerich for that one. At one point, George just called it I Don't Know, because George Martin kept bugging him about what to call it. He didn't settle on I Want to Tell You until they were basically done with the track. Classic George, laid back, but with a lot going on under the surface. Looking back, it's not Harrison's best song, but it's definitely got its charm. It shows George's growing confidence as a songwriter, even if he was working under more pressure than John or Paul. Emmerich said that George never got the luxury of time in the studio like they did, which probably explains why his tracks feel a little more raw. Even though it didn't get as much attention as other Revolver tracks, people like Ted Nugent saw the potential. He even covered it in '79, which is kind of wild when you think about it. It goes to show that there was more to this song than people realized at the time. It may not be one of George's masterpieces, but it's a solid reminder that he had a lot more to say than people gave him credit for. It's a stepping stone to the deeper stuff he'd dive into later, both with the Beatles and on his own.